Right. It says we're live. We're going to give it a second to catch up, just like always, because StreamYard and YouTube take like 15 seconds to catch on this thing. So we're 15 seconds in. All right. We should be live. When somebody jumps in the chat, give me a 2 before in the chat to let me know that you can hear me and we are live. And you can see I am by myself tonight. Shelly had something come up. Forrest gave me a 2 before. Thank you, Forrest. Shelly had something come up tonight, and she couldn't be with us. So I'm going, good morning, or good afternoon, or good night, Miss Sharon. Shelly couldn't be here. She had something coming up, so I'm going to be flying solo tonight, and hopefully I can stay on track and say something and not say anything bad. So we'll see how that goes. So welcome to Homestead HQ. I'm Jason, and I'm flying solo tonight. Shelly's not here. Tonight, we're talking about thriving on the homestead, mental resilience. We'll jump into the topic here in just a few minutes, but I don't have a good news story. I did see one thing, and I like Babylon Bee. Who looks at Babylon Bee? Babylon Bee is just hilarious. I mean, it's all satire and stuff. But since Tim Walz is not running for whatever governor again, this is 8 perfect jobs, new jobs for Tim Walz. So he'll be the Learning Center director. These have flourished into multi-million-dollar businesses under his watch. So he could be the director of that. Chief counsel at the Pray Away the Straight camp. What a perfect fit. One of those wacky inflatable tube men at the car dealership. Number 4, supervisor, and I think this is the best one, supervisor of the tampon dispensary at the men's correctional facility. Head coach of the Minnesota Vikings. Member of the Village People. The perverted uncle impersonator. Or the president of Somalia, because it's a natural transition. So that's the good news for tonight, or the funny story for tonight. So Shelly usually does that, and then she told me, she's like, I've got something happening, I've got to do this. And I was like, we'll come up with something funny. So, I mean, that whole Somalia thing and all that crap's going on. The bad thing is we're never going to see anything come of it. Nobody's going to get arrested. Nobody's going to get in trouble for stealing millions and millions of dollars from the taxpayers. But I tell you what, if I was late on my taxes, the IRS would be at my door knocking, demanding money. But apparently, if you're an illegal alien, you can just steal millions of dollars from the taxpayers. So we'll see. The good old 2-tier justice system that we got here in the United States is just amazing. Aren't you glad that we have it? I mean, put a 1 in the chat if you love the 2-tier justice system that we've got. So, Homestead twins are here. Good evening. Chantel's here. Good evening to you. I keep wanting to say good morning because I always do the show in the morning, and then I get flustered up. It's like if you're at church. Typically most of the time you'll go to church on Sunday morning, and when you see people, it's always like, good morning, how are you? And no matter how many times we teach the first graders on Wednesday night at church. No matter how many times I go on Wednesday night, I always am like, good morning, how are you? And of course, I think about it, and as I'm saying it, good morning's coming out. So then I'm just like, I just giggle and the people laugh. They're like, I do the same thing. And I'm like, okay, good. I'm not the only person. Newman, good evening. How are you? So, talking about church, we started, we do the kids' church on Wednesday night, and it's called XBG. It's Extreme Bible Games. So it is essentially it's a quiz game to where you ring in on buzzers, and we've got first, second, third, fourth, and fifth grades up there, and they get cards. And we start, I think it's 20 cards total, 20 or 30 cards for the questions. The kids study the questions, and then we quiz them on it, and you ring in. And we did the intro to it tonight. The kids the kids are excited, and this is the first time that the first graders have ever done it. So they're just like, some of them are nervous and some of them are like, yes, we're going to kill it. We're going to get up there and answer all these questions. But the kids were excited. So this was kind of the intro night to it. Next week, we're going to start the actual games, and all the kids get points, and we've got 4 separate teams. So each grade, whoever is first, second, and third in each grade, and then the winning team, we usually take them to the trampoline park, the indoor trampoline park, and do a pizza party for them. So we told them that, and all the kids are like, yes, I want to win. I want to win. So they're excited about that. It's fun. I like doing it. And I think this is our 3rd or 4th time doing it. So it's always exciting to watch the kids do it and learn stuff. And that's the cool stuff. They're learning stuff about the Bible, everything like that. And it's just a fun way for them to learn. And Newman says, she is doing good. Hand is recovering well from carpal tunnel. Good. I'm glad you're doing good on that. So hopefully it keeps on doing good and you can be back up to 100% soon. What's the recovery time on that before you're back to 100%? I remember years ago when I was in elementary school, one of our teachers had that carpal tunnel surgery, and she had like little like it looked like wires and stuff on her hand, like for the recovery. I remember, and of course we were in elementary school and we're like, she's like Freddy Krueger or something like that, or the Edward Scissorhands guy. We were laughing about that. So, well, another thing that's in the news, I've been checking on silver. I look at silver, every other day, something like that. Silver got up the other day to $83.16. So it broke the $80 an ounce mark. And I checked just before we got on here. It's $79.49. So we broke the $80 mark finally on silver for the first time. So we'll kind of see where it goes. I'm anxious. People are saying it's going to hit over $100, and then of course you got some of these people are like, silver's going to go to $1,000 an ounce, and I'm like, that would be pretty neat. But then you got to look at it too. As silver goes up, that's just the death of the dollar. So I mean, every time it goes up, the dollar's buying power just goes down and down and down. And I honestly think the dollar is pretty close to being dead, and I don't know what's going to happen with that. So we'll just kind of have to play and see. I'm not a financial advisor. If you don't have some silver, I mean, it's kind of a crappy time to get in, but I think it'll still go up some to where you can still make some money on it. Let me see. Homestead Twins said, I have my left hand done after having my right hand done at Thanksgiving. Greg Skeens, what's up, man? 2 weeks off from work for me with another 2 on light duty. All right. And a few months back to 100%. And Sage Creek Prepper, 2 before from Lexi. Guys, I appreciate it. Hey, Forrest, yeah. And that's what I think. The digital currency is going to take over, which, man, we are going to be screwed majorly with digital currency. That digital currency means no more. Everything is going to be on the books, if you know what I mean. There's going to be nothing off the books. You're not going to be able to, your grandmother's not going to be able to give you $20 in your birthday card anymore and stuff like that. The guy's not going to, kids mowing the yard, they're not going to be able to get $20 for mowing the neighbor's yard in cash. It's going to be like, scan my little thing, and then I'll get my digital currency in there. There's not going to be any more cash. It's going to be, and then they're going to be able to shut you off. We get on here and we talk bad about the government. They're like, oh, your social credit score went down. Now you're not going to be able to get your currency out of the bank. So watch that. It's going to be a crappy time. I mean, digital currency is scary because then they control just another aspect of your life, more than they already control now as it is. And Sage Creek is in Lexington. Hey, Sage Creek Prepper, are you coming down the end of this month for the Homestead meetup. We've got the Homestead meetup. It's January 31st, Saturday. It is at the Expo Center in Bowling Green. It's the same place we have the festival. Totally free to come. We just ask you bring some kind of dish. We're going to have a potluck lunch. It's free to come. The only thing we ask is that you go to the website, and on the website, it's under training, I think is what it's under, and you'll see Homestead Meetup. Click on it. How many ever people are coming, put that many people in your cart and check out. And what that does is just send us an email and let us know, hey, these 2 people are coming, and it kind of reserves your spot. So stick it on there. That just saves us from having to keep a list, and we know who's going to come. It's not going to cost you anything to do that, because when I put it up there, I checked myself out. It was totally free and all that. But if you're coming to the Homestead Meetup January 31st, run to the website and sign up. It's going to be a good time. Dana and yes, Miss Sharon put a link in there. Thank you, Miss Sharon. Dana Russell from Russell Homestead, she's going to be doing she's going to do a fermentation workshop for us. Show us all about fermentation stuff, how to ferment foods. She's going to cover that. And then Josh Garman, which is one of Shelly's son-in-laws, he's going to show us about making wine. So it's going to be a fun Saturday. That's for sure. It's going to be packed full. We're still going to have time to hang out with each other, meet new people. It's going to be an amazing time. I love doing the Homestead meetups because you get to learn a couple things. You get to meet new people that are around. It's going to be cool. Right now, we're looking at people from 3 states coming up. So I'm excited about it. So, but we got Homestead meetup the 31st. We've got the pig processing class is going to be March 21st. That's here in Bowling Green at my place. That's going to be March 21st. Tickets on it to come to it is $200 a person or $375 for a couple. If you're a couple and you're wanting to come, use the code KSLPIG, and that'll take the $25 off when you sign up. So we're going to show you how to dispatch the pig. That pig will be alive in the morning, and it's going to be in VacMaster chamber sealer bags and ready to go in the freezer by the afternoon. So you'll learn every aspect of that. That's March 21st. And then the lamb, we're going to do a lamb processing class. That's going to be April 11th here at my place also. Same price. It's $200 a person or $375 for a couple. The code on it is KSL Sheep for that coupon code if you're wanting to come for a couple. And while we're talking about sheep, we had the first lamb of the year. It is a little ewe lamb. We named her Peanut after one of the girls that comes to church with us, one of the young girls. I think she's in 2nd grade. She just loves animals. And I told her, I was like, whenever your parents want to bring you over, I was like, come over and you can see the baby lamb. She's like, oh, me and my brothers and my sister are going to come over for that. And I'm like, that's cool. Set it up. Have your mom talk to my wife and set everything up. But yeah, I had a nice, healthy ewe lamb. She probably weighs 6-7 pounds, something like that. Good sized little lamb. She's running around doing great. When I got in this afternoon, I ran down and checked on them, checked her water trough, all that. And she's just running around doing great. So first lamb of the year, we've got several more ewes that are ready to pop whenever. So I'm thinking probably by the end of the week or first part of next week, everybody will lamb out, and we'll be done with that for the year. And then we can start getting everybody up and going. I'm excited about it. I love when new lambs hit the ground. Yeah, Miss Sharon, awesome getting the kids involved. Yeah, we've got, I think there's 8 or 9 kids, something like that are homeschooled at our church, and they all know each other and everything. They do stuff together, and we know all the parents. And so now all the homeschool kids, they always ask, and they're like, Mr. Jason, have you had any lambs? And I told all of them on Sunday, and they're like, awesome, we want to come over. And my wife posted a picture of it, and then all the parents saw it, and they're just like, we gotta come over. We're gonna do it. So I think all these kids are gonna come over one day and just show them everything, let them look at the animals, play with the animals, teach them some stuff, and that'll be like their little field trip for the day. So it is. I love getting the kids involved and showing them all that kind of stuff. It's cool to watch the kids just light up and want to learn stuff. And I tell you what's super cool is one of our friends came over this last summer, and I was showing them some of the stuff, the strawberries and everything, and they're like, "Can we go pick some strawberries?" And I'm like, "Yeah, let's go down there." So I was showing them the food forest, all that kind of stuff. And I started picking strawberries, and I was like, "Here, eat some of those." And their dad was like, "No, we need to wash those off first." I'm like, "Why? Why do we need to wash them off?" He's like, "Well, you always wash your vegetables and your stuff like that." And I'm like, "No, you don't." I was like, "We're not throwing pesticides, any kind of crap on these things." I'm like, "There's been nothing put on these besides water and compost." And I'm like, "That's the only thing been on here." So we've not put Seven Dust or any kind of spray or stuff like that. I was like, "They're safe to eat." I was like, "Eat them right now." So they thought it was the coolest thing in the world. They could go down there and just pick strawberries and just eat them right there, standing in the food forest. So, also Darren Darren from Hacks for the Homesteader, he's going to be on next week. And Shelly told me this. He's going to be on next week with us talking about tool maintenance and maintaining your tools and equipment and stuff like that. So Darren will be here next week to help us talk about that. And I'm going to take a drink of coffee, and we'll get in. All right. Mental resilience. I mean, how many times have people got burned out? I have been burnt out before and been like, why in the world do I do this stuff? Why? This is mental resilience for your homestead, and it can be for preparedness also. I mean, it can be any of those things. And you're going to have to excuse me for a minute. It's getting hot in the basement. All right. Sorry about that. It's getting hot down here. All right. Mental resilience for your homestead. This can be for your homestead and as far as preparedness stuff too. I've gotten burned out on preparedness stuff before. And it's like, is it really, do I really need to keep doing this? Why are we doing this? On the homestead, I've gotten burnt out before, putting fence or doing a project. It's like, why am I doing this? And then you kind of look at it and you step back and you're like, you look at the animals, you look at what you're growing, you look at your freezers. You've got freezers full of meat that you've grown yourself and raised, and you've put in the freezer, process those animals. You've got vegetables, you've got fruit, stuff that you've raised on your place. And it's like, boom, this is why I do this. You've got comfrey salve that you can make from your comfrey that you're growing out there. And by the way, we have sold so much comfrey. It's crazy. I had to go out and dig some comfrey crowns the other day. Shelly and I had dug some and got everything ready, but I had to go dig more comfrey crowns and a bunch more comfrey root because people were ordering it. And I'm like, I've not dug comfrey in January before. So we had to dig more of that. So it's going good. I mean, if you need some comfrey, we've got plenty of it. I'll just have to go out and dig it. I don't mind digging it a bit. So let me see. Sage Creek Prepper. Let me say, Tina ordered a bleed kit from you guys. The day it came in, I cut a vein and I had to use it. Yes, Sage Creek, I got that review, and I'm like, that is why we do some of this stuff. So I'm sorry that you had to use it and sorry that you got cut. and had to get injured for it. But hey, I appreciate you buying it from us, and I'm glad that you got it and you've got some use out of it. Tell me, what did you use out of that kit? I would be interested to know what you used out of that kit. And they will be at the meetup. Let's see, Chantel. My dogs watched you get up and remove the hoodie and instantly started barking. That's hilarious. And Miss Sharon, Sage Creek Prepper, so glad you had it ready to go. Yeah, that makes everything we're doing worthwhile. I hate to see anybody get hurt, but I like for the people to have the supplies on hand to help themselves when they need it. I mean, that's what it's all about. I've got 99.9% of the time, I have medical on me. I usually keep 2 compressed gauze and a tourniquet in my cargo pockets, 99.9% of the time. I don't have them in there right now because I took all the stuff out of my pockets when I came into the house and set it on the bar. But there is horrible amounts of medical stuff sitting around here right now that they're sitting there if I needed it. Hopefully I won't get injured just sitting at the desk talking to everybody, talking to a box on the internet. And Chantel is 100% right. Medical preps are a necessity. And guys, one guy told me one time, he was like, if you think you have enough gauze, go buy some more gauze. I mean, literally gauze are cheap. And if you think about it, if you've got one major injury that you're going to have to take care of, you're going to probably be using 1 to 2 rolls of gauze a day. So if you bought a case of 100, just think how fast those things are going to go through, how fast you're going to go through those gauze, stuff like that. So gauze are relatively cheap. I mean, you can buy, we can sell them to you by the case or the individual. We've got it on the website. If you want to buy case lot quantities, we'll do case lot quantities to save you a little bit of money. So check that stuff out. And but yeah, medical stuff is necessary for sure. So I hate how you have to double click this stuff. All right, who's felt burnout? Put a 1 in the chat if you have felt burnout on homesteading, if you felt burned out on doing preparedness stuff. I mean, truth in advertising, I have done it before. So I mean, the mental resilience on the stuff is your ability to keep moving forward when stuff doesn't go as planned. And Forrest put like 111 trillion in there. So, but yeah, mental resilience is your ability to keep moving forward when things don't go according to plan. I know people have been there. On the homestead, the weather doesn't cooperate with you. It sucks sometimes. You're out fixing fence and it sucks. It's like, man, it's raining, it's snowing, it's 99 degrees. I mean, hot as Satan's crotch outside, and you're trying to fix fence or you're trying to do something. Animals get sick. Animals get sick all the time. You've got to treat those things. Animals get out. Hey, we had my wife took the dogs out. Yeah, it was last night. My wife took the dogs out. I've got the sheep over in the old pond area, and they come around to the back of the house and go to the pond area. My wife hollered at me, and she was like, hey, your sheep are in the backyard. I'm like, God bless. So I run out and look. One of the lines had come loose, and the sheep were out in the backyard. No big deal, but it's 9 o'clock at night. No big deal. So I get them back in. I take them back to the barn, put them behind hard fence for the night. And I'm like, I've got to go fix this. But yeah, animals get sick. Stuff breaks. Your equipment breaks. I mean, who's not had their tractor or their bobcat or something else like that break? Stuff breaks all the time. Money will get tight. Money gets tight all the time. I mean, no matter how much money you're making, money gets tight. I mean, for everybody. Progress seems relatively slow. I mean, I know it took me a minute to get all my property fenced, and then I've still got some other stuff, some other fence stuff that I need to do. It's just progress will get slow. if you're doing your food forest, you're sitting there and you're like, I planted all this food forest. I've done all this stuff. It's like, grow trees. Trees, will you please grow? I want some fruit. So it can slow you down, and you can be like, man, this stuff is not working as fast as I want it to. You've got to have patience with a lot of it. And I have little patience whatsoever. So I struggle with that. And yes, Newman, I use that term a lot. Hot as Satan's crotch. And then Greg says, Beth got on to me for buying so many galls. She sees why. Yeah, galls, you can never have too much galls. And Mike Shepard's here and Jeanette's here. Good evening, y'all. All right. You've got to have that mental resilience to get through stuff and without losing hope. So, I mean, stick in the chat. What's been the biggest mental challenge that y'all have seen on your homestead that you've had to deal with in homesteading or, your preparedness journey? What's the biggest thing you've dealt with? Part of mine has been like, we're never going to get done with some of this stuff. It's like, I've still got projects. It's like, yes, I know I need to finish this project, but it's like, I've got to get time to do it. You've got to budget your time on, hey, I've got to do this project or I've got to do that. But stick in the chat, what's been your biggest hurdle on the mental resilience part that's gotten you to the point of saying, holy crap, I'm done with this. And then you're just like, hey, let's stick with it. Mike says time. Yes. I think that will be a big one for a lot of people is time. I mean, you've only got so many hours in the day. And Miss Sharon says, never-ending list of projects. Yes. And we're going to get on how to fix some of this stuff and what you can do about it. A lot of the common struggles that people face is burnout. And this is homesteading and preparedness stuff, is burnout. There's always more work, there's really no weekends, no clock out time. When you're working for yourself, on the homestead, it's like, we're going to work until the stuff gets done. But you do need to take some rest time. That is one of the big things. If you don't rest and rejuvenate, you're going to burn yourself out super fast. Isolation. A lot of people live super rural and they don't see people all the time. So you've got to get that. You've got to get out and talk to some people. Don't stay on your property all the time. Get out and talk to some people. I mean, that's one of the biggest things. Find some people you can talk to. Comparisons. Comparing yourself to other people. You look at all these polished, YouTube people, Instagram, TikTok, and all this, and all the social media homesteads. A lot of the times, and I know this for a fact, they're only showing you one part of their homestead that is all nice and neat, freshly manicured, all this. They've got this lush green grass that their sheep are in. But if you panned over 100 feet and looked at it, it's like, this place is a feedlot. I've had one of my real good friends tell me, he was like, I went to one of these big people's places. He said, I drove by because it looked like a feedlot. And he was like, there was one little patch of grass and one little nice place. And that's where they filmed all their content. So your homestead's not always going to be perfect. My homestead is nowhere near perfect. I've got to work on my driveway. I've got potholes in my driveway. They're stupid big, and I've not had time to fix those. Got to get that stuff done. Chantel says, trying to get my garden area fixed up. Yes, that's another thing. I've got to fix it. And as I was driving back home this afternoon thinking about stuff. It's like, I'm going to build more raised beds this year, get those things done. I mean, as much as stuff is comfrey selling, I'm like, we're going to double down and start raising more comfrey and growing it. I'm probably going to do some beds with just comfrey because the thing is, I hate disturbing the food forest where all the comfrey's at. I just hate messing with that. So if we can do some sacrificial beds to grow comfrey, I don't mind going in there and digging that up and doing it. And I tell you what, some of those comfrey roots are that big around, those big tap roots. When you start digging those up, I didn't think they got that big, but I was digging some of it, and man, that stuff is big. And Miss Sharon says, I don't see people sometimes for weeks. That would be a hard thing. I see people. I mean, I see people pretty much every day. Not just my family, because I'm out doing stuff, running packages to get shipped, doing my other job, contracting. I see people, running the paint store, running Lowe's. That would be a hard thing, not seeing people for weeks. I mean, I could do it, with seeing my family and stuff like that. I'd be able to see them, but I could probably go a little while without talking to people other than family and be okay. Let's see. 4 says, unrealistic expectations from social media and the desire to achieve self-sufficiently quickly. Yes, that is. Seeing all that, everything's polished and all that good stuff, and you want everything right now. And Miss Sharon, when I'm working outside, I worry about what needs to be done inside and vice versa. Yeah, and I tell you what, I used to hunt all the stinking time. I was a hunting fool. Whatever was in season, we were hunting. And it was like boom, boom, boom. I could tell you what was in season right now, when it was going out, when the deer were moving, when we needed to go hunting, when we needed to go shoot ducks, all that kind of stuff. But I was getting to the point, it's like, man, I'm sitting there in the deer stand, and I'm like, I could be doing so much stuff at my house right now instead of sitting in this deer stand for 5 hours today. So I just kind of quit hunting, and I'm like, I can raise my food is down there on the hoof, and all I got to do is roll it into the barn. And, if I want to dispatch it, I can process it, and it's right there. So my sheep are sitting out there eating, and I can be doing other stuff and still have food right there. So hunting has kind of went to the wayside right now. My youngest one wants to start some more. So probably this coming up, next deer season, we're probably going to hunt a little bit. So I'm kind of anxious to get back into it, and I'd like to. Some of the other common mental struggles, decision fatigue. Every day is a series of decisions. You're always making decisions of, this is going to impact, the animals, the land, finances, all that stuff. You've got to look, you're making decisions constantly. Financial stress. If you're doing this solely Homestead as a business, the financial stress is going to be a killer. It's not cheap. There's ways to do it cheaper. Billy Bond has got a book that he helped write. It was Scrap Steading. It shows you all about how to do stuff on the cheap and how to recycle stuff. Do a bunch of that stuff. I mean, find lumber, use recycled materials, everything like that. Marketplace is a great place to find materials and stuff. And Sage Creek Prepper says, use a Schlissman wrap and compressed gauze and gloves. Awesome. I am glad that you got to use that. And those Schlissman wraps are pretty stinking nice. I love those things. I've got one in the center console of my truck that rides in the center console. And the great thing about the Schlissmans is you can actually get inclusion and cut the blood flow off, is a great thing. And then also you can use those on kids, because like your cat tourniquet and your soft T tourniquet only go down so far. They'll only get so small, but your Schlissman will go on kids. And you can use it on super small kids and get blood flow to stop. So, all right. Some strategies on building your mental toughness. We've got the problems. Let's see. I never think I have enough fresh water stored. I'm in the same boat. I've got IBC tote after IBC tote sitting there, and it's just like, I wonder if I have enough. And it's all, you're always going to wonder. It's the thing to do is just store as much as you can and hope it's going to work. And just keep buying more IBC totes and just keep storing it. I don't think you'll ever have too much water. I've never heard somebody say, man, I wished I wouldn't have stored so much water. They're going to be like, man, I wished I would have stored more. But building, how to build up. We looked at some of the common problems. How are we going to do and fix some of this stuff that we're talking about? One of the things is lower the bar down. don't look at it as, if you're starting off, you're like, I've got to have chickens, I've got to have sheep, I've got to have pigs, and I got to have cows. Lower the bar down, and then start raising it up slowly. You don't need perfection on all this stuff. You just need progress, putting one foot in front of the other. So don't rush out and get all these animals. Start with chickens. And once you, somewhat master chickens, be like, hey, maybe we want to add pigs, or maybe we want to add sheep to this. So then get a few sheep. And then once you get it figured out, reassess your stuff. You're like, hey, we're making progress. Maybe we can do this and raise enough meat for our family with just chickens and sheep. You might be able to. Focus on one win a day. We're going, Mike, baby steps. Focus on one win a day. Look at it, say, today I'm going to get, we're in wintertime. You can be doing prep work for your garden and your raised beds. Be like, today I'm going to clean out half my raised beds. And that's what I'm going to do today. So you do that and you get that win for the day. And maybe it only takes you, a quarter of the day to get half the beds done. You look and you're like, man, I can do the other half of the beds, and I've still got half the day to do some other stuff. Jump on it. You made that win. Let's do 2 wins a day if you can. Or maybe, hey, I've got to put a new gate up. I've been putting it off forever. Get that one win and set that gate up. Also on the preparedness part is, hey, I need to store some extra food. Run, if you're in town, run to the store, get a few prep items. That small little win will keep going, and it's baby steps, like Mike said. Miss Sharon said, I started with rabbits for fertilizer, then chickens for eggs. Yeah, and that's a great thing. Start with that. Rabbits are awesome for fertilizer. So focus on one win a day. Control what you can. There's certain things. You can't control the weather. You can't control the markets. And you can't control people outside of your control, which essentially you probably really can't control anybody unless it's your kid. And half the time the kids won't listen to you anyway. So we'll just put people in general, things you can control. You can control how much effort you put into a job. If you're procrastinating about stuff, stop procrastinating. Get out and do this stuff. You can control your attitude. If you've got a good attitude about stuff doesn't take near as long to do. And you're going to be happier, and you're not going to be pissed off while you're doing it. There are certain things that I look at and I'm like, this is going to suck to do it. And I keep putting it off and putting it off. And 90% of the time, once you do that and you get into it and you get done, you're like, man, that only took me like 25 minutes, and I've been putting it off for 6 months, and it really didn't suck that bad. So why was I putting it off for 6 months? So then you look at it and you're like, what are these other projects that I think are really going to suck? Let's jump in here and do it. And maybe they're not going to suck as much. It's that whole mental playing with yourself. Oh, this job's going to suck. I just don't want to do it. There's tons of stuff that's happened to me. I had on one of the jobs we're working on, I'm like, I'm dreading doing this one thing at this house. I jumped in, did it, and I'm like, shoot, this didn't take 30 or 45 minutes, and now it's done. Now it's not hanging over my head. I'm not worrying about it all the time. So your attitude is going to play a big thing in it. Build routines on stuff. Routines, if you've got a routine set, that takes some of the mental load off. You've got to, you need to do X, Y, and Z in the morning. Like when I leave, typically, especially during lambing season, before I leave to do anything else off the property in the morning, I'll go down, I hook the water hose up, make sure the water trough is filled up. As the water trough is filling up, I holler for the sheep, and they come out. I do a head count, look and see if there's any more babies, if anybody needs anything, make sure they've got any kind of hay. If we've got hay out for them, make sure that's done. By the time I do that, the water trough is topped off, shut the water trough off, holler and make sure the dogs are good. And then I get in the truck and do my stuff. do essentially the same thing when I get home for the afternoon. Is do a head count, make sure everybody's good, but have a routine on that. If it's during harvest season, go out, first thing in the morning, run out to the garden, see if there's anything you need to pick, anything you need to do, but set that routine up. And then that takes, if you got your routine, that's less decisions you have to make every day because you've already got it set and ready to go. Another big thing I touched on is rest. You say no weekends in homesteading, but burnout will kill you fast if you don't take a day and rest. Take Saturday or Sunday and sit down and rest and get your mind off of it. You still got a few things to do, but don't run 24/7. Running 24/7 will burn you out fast. I've still got my contracting business. Years and years ago when we were doing concrete work, man, we ran nonstop. I mean, we were pouring concrete before the sun was up, and I didn't get home until the sun was way down in the summertime. And I'm like, I am burning it at both ends. And it burnt me out of concrete work. That's one of the reasons I quit doing concrete work. Is like, man, this absolutely sucks. I'm done with it. So you've got to step back and take some rest. Take a day, sit on the front porch and relax, drink some coffee, hang out with your family. Those other things and those other tasks can wait, but sit down and relax. I mean, if you don't do that, you're going to be burned out super fast. And Miss Sharon says, the rabbits and chickens depend on me for food and water. So I go up the hill. That gets me up there. And before I know it, I'm in the garden all day long. Yeah. I mean, some of that stuff, you got to set some routines and stuff like that. All right. Shelly and I both talk about this a bunch, is community. Build a community. That community is going to help you with your mental preparedness. Nobody wants to do this alone. I mean, it would suck. I've got people I can call and ask for their advice on stuff. People call me and ask me for advice on stuff, for homesteading and preparedness stuff. We bounce ideas off people. I mean, I had 2 phone calls today that I was asking people about certain things. We're bouncing ideas off. I'm like, hey, do you think this is a good idea? They would give me their opinion on it. So find other homesteaders. The homestead meetup is going to be an amazing time for people. We're going to try to do them more often. This one's the 31st. If you want to come, jump in there. It's free. You're going to get to meet people and have a good time. And the cool thing is, these people already think like you do. So it's not like meeting somebody out at the mall or the gas station, and you start talking about, I've got 132 chickens, and we're getting ready to process those as meat birds. And these people look at you and like, what in the hell do you have that many meat birds for? Why are you killing your own chickens? Or what you're crazy. It's building that stuff, and you're going to build local relationships on that. Even though, Sage Creek Prepper, they're in Lexington. They're not super, super far away from us, but we can meet these people, and you just keep building and building and building. And he might know somebody closer to Bowling Green, and then we meet up through that. So it's just building that network. Mike Shepard's going to be there. And Miss Sharon says, I don't have many neighbors, but most of them are all a-holes. Hey, I got my share of a-holes around here, and they're everywhere, and we're not ever going to get rid of them. So another thing with building your community, you can share skills and you can share labor. If you need help on something, you can call and be like, hey, Mike Shepard's come down, help me a bunch and help me do things. Mike helps me with my contracting business sometimes too. And it's like, you help people, and then when they need something, you can go and help them. Work with each other. It's going to be a lot easier if you're putting fence up, if you've got somebody coming and helping you. I mean, putting fence up by yourself is not fun, but if you've got somebody to come help you, it's like, man, it's going to take half as much time, and you're probably going to have a better attitude because you're not out there alone. You got somebody to talk to, just somebody to have a good time with. I will tell you this, when I'm doing something by myself as opposed to doing something, one of my friends helping me, it's so much more relaxing, so much more fun, and I enjoy it that much more. Mike, when we were going to do a pig processing class, and I had a bunch of Juliana pigs, and I'm like, Mike, we need to do some of these the day before. And he's like, I'll come down and help you. Me and Mike, we did 3 or 4 Juliana pigs. We blocked them out, cut them into primals. We did it in no time flat. It was not work whatsoever for us. We had a good time. We were just, hanging out, 2 guys, essentially chewing the shit on stuff. And we had fun, but we got work done. It would have been miserable if I was doing it all by myself. Also, you can ask for help. If you've got a community of people, if you need help, you can ask for help from people. And if you've got a good community, those people are going to stick by you and come and help you when, in your times of need. One of Shelly's daughters, it's been a year and a half, something like that. A big storm came through. She lost one of her big trees. It came down on the chicken coop. After Shelly called us, told us what was going on, within an hour, something like that, of Shelly calling and everything, we had 5 or 6 people up there from KSL in the community that were up there cutting that tree and getting it sorted out, getting the chicken coop kind of sorted out, figuring out what was going wrong. I mean, that's what you get when you're doing the community. All right, staying motivated for the long term. We figured out what to do. We figured out about building our community. Write it down. Some of this stuff, write this down. Why did you start this? Write it down and keep it in a book. So when you get frustrated, Mike said it's about 2.5, 3 hours for 3 Julianas is about what we did. But why did you start it? Write it down and look at it. I mean, if you want to, print it out on a piece of paper and stick it in your barn. So when you're getting aggravated and you walk in the barn, you're like, this is why I started this. Let's recharge and let's do this. The reason you started homesteading is probably because you wanted to stop eating the crap that's in the grocery stores. You wanted to raise your own food. You wanted to have a sustainable system at your house to where you don't have to rely on a grocery store. Maybe you just love animals and you want to raise a bunch of chickens. Maybe you're the crazy chicken lady and you want to have 1,000 chickens at your house. Stuff like that. You want to have a better life for you and your family. You want to grow your own food, or in the preparedness side, you want to be prepared for what's coming down the pike, and it's going to be coming down the pike. So you want to have that system ready and set up to where you're not like sitting there waiting for the government going, I hope the government comes and gives me something, in this grid down situation. Miss Sharon said easy because I'd rather shovel shit than go to the grocery store. Yeah, exactly. Measure your progress in years and not weeks. Food forest is a perfect example. I knew that when we put this food forest in a couple of years ago, that year I was not going to have fruit. We got a few strawberries here and there, but apples, peaches, pears, all that kind of stuff, I knew it was going to be years before I got it. It wasn't like, hey, we're going to go stick this apple tree in a couple of weeks, we're going to have bushels of apples. It just doesn't work that way. It's a long game on that. And right now you're putting in the work for your future self is what you're doing. Your animals, look at it, especially if you're going to raise beef. L2 Survive, what's up, man? Glad to have you in here. If you're going to raise beef, if you go buy a bottle calf that's 2 days old, you're looking at 18 months, really, realistically, before you should breed her. So you're 18 months in, then you breed that heifer. So you're looking at 9-ish months before she has a calf. And then you're going to look at probably about, a minimum of 12 months before you butcher that calf to do it, really, if you're going to grass feed it, you're probably looking 24 months, something like that, for it to be finished. If you're going to grain finish it, you're probably looking at 18 months, something like that. So, man, we're years in the making right there. Sheep's another thing. If you get, I mean, if you've got a ewe now and you go ahead and breed that ewe, you're looking somewhere right around 4 months for a gestation before she has that lamb. And then, maybe about a year on your lambs before you put those in. So it's kind of a long game on stuff like that. Is looking at it. It's not going to be, hey, I'm going to go get some sheep, and in a couple of weeks we're going to be eating lamb. Unless you buy market ready lambs, yes, you can do that. And L2 survive. Plant 5 perennials each year. In 5 years, you'll have 25 plants that will feed you for life. In 10 years, you will have 50. Yeah, that's the long game of looking at that and doing it. Accept setbacks and learn from that. And my dad told me this, and my uncle told me too. The only mistake that you make is the ones you don't learn from and the one you can't fix. And then also doing the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different outcomes. That's why I hate mowing the yard, because it makes it makes you insane, because you're mowing the yard. And I kid with people. It's like, I'm insane because I mow my yard. And they're like, what? I was like, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results. So, but yeah, accept the setbacks and learn from it. If you're like, hey, we did this, we tried to do this type of chicken tractor for our chickens, and it wound up being a hot mess, and it was just, stupid. It didn't work. Let's try it again next time, and let's modify that. If you're trying to do compost and your compost winds up being crap, it's like, let's try it a different way. Let's learn from that, and don't just give up on it. It's like, let's learn and get a lesson from this. Also, celebrate milestones. Your first harvest. Everybody's going to get excited on that first tomato that cost you, $5,000 to grow the tomato that everybody kids around about. But yeah, your first harvest. Let's do that. The first strawberries you get from your food forest, be like, yes, I've got this. We can do this. Your first lamb. Look at it. It's like, hey, this is the first lamb born on this property. This is amazing. Take a picture of it. Print the picture out. Stick it in your office and be like, this is why I do this. Celebrate it. The first time you can stuff. Celebrate that stuff. Just all kinds of stuff. The first year you get through your homestead, celebrate stuff like that. And then progress is going to compound itself. It just keeps going and going. You're like, hey, I made this little win. Let's do another one. It's kind of like Dave Ramsey, in the debt snowball. He's like, take your debts, smallest to largest, and pay off your smallest one, and then work your way up. It's like, hey, I paid off this small little medical bill, and it's like, yes, I did it. I can do this. And then you pay off the next bill and the next bill. And then pretty soon you're just like, man, this is amazing. I've got the bull by the horns. It's the same thing with doing homesteading stuff. Just keep rolling with it, and you can do this thing. A lot of this stuff, stay calm under pressure on stuff. When everything's got you down, don't just take the bucket and just kick the bucket and be like, screw this, I'm done with everything. Stay calm, adapt to the change, be flexible on stuff. I took the day off and I was going to fix fence, and it's coming a monsoon today and I can't work on the fence. Don't just be like, screw this, I'm done. Adapt to it. Have a backup plan. Be like, yeah, it's going to rain all day. Maybe I can go work in the greenhouse, or maybe I can go clean the shop up. That's something that always needs to be done. I know I could clean my shop almost every other day. Try not to make decisions when you're tired about stuff. When you're tired and you're worn out and you're pissed off about stuff, try not to make any big decisions, because it's probably going to be a stupid decision, honestly. The strongest prep for stuff is staying steady minded and saying, hey, we can get through this and figure it out. L2 Survive. I always thought putting a bug zapper in the chicken run would be a great idea. In the mornings, the chickens would have a pile of toasted bugs to eat. I guess it would work. I don't know. It would be something cool to try and see if it actually worked out. It might work out. I mean, it would be a pretty cool little deal to try. But guys, that's what I've got on the mental resilience. Just stay focused. Stuff sucks sometimes. You just got to kind of embrace the suck and go on with it. There have been times, honestly, there's been times where I've been like, screw this. I've told my wife so many times, I'm like, I'm done with this crap. We're going to sell every animal we've got. I'm just done. I don't care about it, but stay in that mental resilience. You can do this. Sometimes you got to step back and just take a deep breath. Take a deep breath, get a drink of tea, sit on the front porch for a few minutes, figure it out, talk to some of your buddies and be like, man, I'm about ready to give this thing up. But I'm not going to. Get your buddies to talk you off the ledge. And Mike said, I thought about that, but I'd have to be a solar bug zapper. Somebody needs to try that, and somebody needs to do a video on that. That would be a cool video. If somebody did that and did like a long-term test, like a couple weeks, I would watch that deal and be excited to see if it works. But guys, that's all I've got. If you're coming to the Homestead meetup, jump on the website, sign up for it. If you need any medical first aid supplies, jump on the website and do that. Don't forget the pig processing class and the lamb processing class are coming up in March and April. You can get your tickets for that on the website. That's all I've got. I appreciate you being here, and I will be back Friday morning at 8 o'clock. Guys, I will see y'all soon, and y'all have a good night. Bye.